Welcome to Education Matters. I'm your host, Mr. Kama Mbogwa, with my guest, Mr. Tonny Oloo. Most welcome. Mr. Tonny Oloo will be telling us about app development and its relationship to education, but I will kindly request him to introduce himself first.
Okay, my name is Tonny, just as you have said. I'm a former graduate student of KC University. I took a course in Bachelor of Business Information Management. So since I graduated in 2015, I've been trying to enter the technological space in aspect of mobile application development. And I'll be very happy to share a lot of information to all of our viewers about how you can also enter into this space.
Thank you very much. Can you give us a brief of app development? What's it about? What does it do?
So mobile application development is applications that can run on operating systems that can be supported in mobile phones. By that I mean the Android operating systems. When you talk about the Android phones, we have Swift. We have Swift and iOS if you want to code apps that run on iOS. If you want to learn app development, you have first to decide which operating system or which mobile platform you want to develop your apps in. You can put your apps in the Android phones or in the Windows phones or in the iOS phones.
Mm-hmm. How long does it take one to learn how to build an app?
For you to learn how to develop mobile applications, it just depends on your passion for mobile application development, and you also have to have a little bit of knowledge and skill in developing mobile application. With that, you can learn through, if you had a previous knowledge in coding, maybe websites, you learn at least a little bit of HTML and Java, and that will give you the basic information of wanting to code mobile applications. Because like in Android, you have to learn a lot of Java, but with iOS, now you have to know something about C++ and Objective-C. And with Windows, it's just the same also, the C# platforms and C++.
Now, can you make the translation easier for our viewers? He may be finding some of the terms straight, but maybe you can be try to clarify.
So just to make everything very simple, we have softwares that you have, mobile programming language that you have to learn if you want to develop mobile applications. So Androids have their own programming languages. If you want to place your app on Android phones, you have to learn certain programming languages. If you want to place your phone, put your app in Windows phones, you have to learn certain programming languages. And also if you want to put your apps in iPhones, you have to learn certain programming languages. They're a little bit, with Android it's Java, and with iPhones you have to learn Objective-C, and when it comes to Windows phones you have to learn C++.
So now, for the sake of some of our viewer who is most likely to be a parent watching at home, a secondary school student or even a primary school student, where do we learn these things? Where did you learn this skill yourself?
Personally, I had to teach myself mobile application development. There are currently very few schools because our curriculum setup was set up during mobile apps were not fashionable, or maybe they were not very common at that time. They were just coming up, like it was the mobile application. It came up something around 2007. So most curriculum do not support the mobile application development. So I just had to go through YouTube and I saw a lot of tutorials on how to code apps for Android, and that's where I began learning.
What was that? When did you start coding?
I began coding around last year, but I wasn't serious about it. It was just for hobby, like writing a few lines of code. The few ones I know most people know about, the Hello World, just running on your coding some few lines of code and writing a Hello World program, and I was very happy to see it run on a phone. But I was pushed to go a little further when now I graduated and I realized, okay, this thing it's something I should really take seriously.
Mm-hmm. So you're able to do that, and you're able to come up with your own apps?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Give us the name of your own app that you have created.
I've created several apps. So some entail artificial intelligence, some are about the cultural values, and we have just some common apps for fun, like Mugabe quotes, which I hope most of you have downloaded because it has so many downloads. But for the cultural apps are the ones such as the Kikuyu cultural customs, we have the Luo cultural customs, we have the Luya, we have the Mijikenda, we have the Kamba. I created them mostly to help people to know more about their cultures because I realize most of my friends actually don't know a lot about what the cultural values of their community.
Okay, before we go into details of the apps, let's go back to maybe the education sector researching. You are just into graduation from university last year. Before you went to university, did you have the exposure to ICT or computers in secondary school? Yes or no?
No, I really never had that much exposure because when I was called to do the business information management, something told me, okay, I'll learn all about computers in campus. So I was reluctant, but right now I realize it's something I should have begun learning very early before.
So what would you advise maybe the advise the parents, advise the secondary school teachers in as far as exposing their learners to computers and ICT for that matter?
I can say that this generation is very lucky, as because I can see people are being given iPads as early as being in class 1, and some people are given computers. People begin learning computers as early as class 6. We have schools offering the computer program. So just apart from playing video games in computers, at least take interest in learning, okay, how do these people make these video games? Or I know most people, like everyone right now is using Facebook, WhatsApp. It's good knowledge to know how did these people come about to create these apps, because it's something that will really help the young people to take good care of themselves in terms of self-employment and everything, because with app development, nobody has to give you a contract to develop a mobile phone app. You just, if you have a very great idea, it's a good way of just bringing your idea into reality.
So do you think that maybe the youth are conscious, you are agents that you interact with, what they have to say about entering that space, the digital space and coming with that generation?
Well, I've really encouraged most of them to enter the space because most of them have seen the benefits that come with developing apps. So most of them right now are encouraged to begin developing mobile applications. And
then I would also want to hear about, does it pay? Is it worth your time?
It's worth your time because you can automate it so that you can just you can develop free apps if you want. Most apps are free. That means they are not that free. You'll see ads in most of the apps. So if the people generate ad revenue from the apps, or you can also put your apps to be paid apps. So it's your choice. Just take time and realize, are your customers willing to pay for your app, or are your customers willing to use your app for free, but at least hope they click the ads so that you'll be able to support your app through the revenue earned from the ad.
So here you have it there. He has just given us the basics behind how app generation or the app development is all about. We'll take a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll be looking at the role of these apps in cultural education of our youth. Stay tuned, watch and learn. Welcome back. This is Education Matters. We are talking about app development with an app developer in the house, Mr. Tonny Oloo. Mr. Tonny Oloo, you have just laid the foundation for us. You have told us how you started learning apps. You did not even have the chance to do ICT in secondary school, but you are now developing apps. You have almost kind of self-taught yourself. Congratulations for that.
Okay, thank you.
And now I'm going to hear about the cultural apps that you have created. What do they entail? How many are they? Which cultural groups are they focusing on for now?
Okay, for right now, I had to focus. I took when developing the apps, I had to use the population census to find out which cultures will I have the most impact on. So according to the it was around 2009 population census, I used it and I took the the communities with a population of 1 million plus. So those were the Kikuyu tribe, Luya tribe, the Luo tribe, we had the Kenya Somali, we had the Mijikenda, and the Kamba communities. So I took
I don't mean to the top 5 communities.
the top 8 communities.
Top 8 communities.
Yeah, the top 8 communities.
Yes.
So after that, I had to do a lot of research. Developing even the app was not part of the problem, but the research about the communities. That was the challenge because I had to go to the National Library, find out because I had to really get the reliable source of information about these communities. I wanted to give the people who use the app to know, to have a reliable source of information.
How long did it take for you to come up with the research and now say I can now upload my content?
For one community, it took 1 week to research. I was like taking 1 week to research about one community, finding information from the library, the internet sources. So it was about a week for one community.
So now take us through one particular community, for example. Let us know in that particular app what exactly is contained in that app. What does the user run from that particular app? Using one particular community.
So I'll start by identifying the problem which I realized that made me first of all just to make the app for that particular community. It was about our young youth generations that I realized most of them don't know about their culture, they don't know about their norms, and also we had a lot of intermarrying was going on, and people when at love, I can say they really don't realize that they might have problems ahead if before they engage in anything, don't appreciate the cultural norms that other communities have. So, for example, the Kikuyu community, I had to research about from the beginning, their history, the overview of their history. They had their own government system. You have to know about that. How the British colonial takeover. That's what about the history overview of them. After that, I had to go about and talk about the traditional practices that they had. Let's say we have the traditional dowry process about the Kikuyu community. So if you're like from another community, don't just take somebody from that community the normal way. You have to learn about their dowry process and follow just to appreciate what their elders had placed. We also have it's called Nguiko, like the boys were normally being educated about the values of about marriage, sex, everything. They are being educated at a very young age. So you have to keep the values as you grow. Even right now, as I know most people are not that much attached to their community, but it's good just to go back and learn about those values. And also we have the Christianity way. They have their own Christian way of marriage. Even if you have entered the Christian religion, they already had placed ways in which you should marry, even if you have already moved to the Christian values.
So now, I'm interested in how do you anticipate that these apps now will deliver like a cultural education? Exactly how do you want to engage the youth through that particular app so they actually end up by acquiring that cultural norms that are inherent in either their own communities or other communities that they may be interested in?
So mostly, I've been placing it in social media, like informing people, okay, I have this thing, you can go and learn about it. And I've also integrated, because I've realized most people nowadays don't like to read, but very many people love to chat. So I did not just make a book app whereby you go and just read and get bored. Maybe before you can read the first line, the second line. I integrated an anonymous chat whereby people who have downloaded the app can chat with one another without feeling victimized. That's the best part of it. It's anonymous. You don't know who you are chatting with, but you can talk, you can ask any question. But that you can only do that after maybe reading and realizing, okay, this one thing which I was looking for, I haven't found. Because also the bad aspect of it, the disadvantage aspect of it, whereby you don't know if you can trust this person who you don't know. But it's a fun way of learning about our culture.
So it means this exchange must happen if there are two people online.
You have to be two or more people online. And also, they have to be a willingness from the other person to chat with you. He might be online but not willing to chat, but you can just send a very interesting question and one of our online users will just be willing to answer it.
Right. For how long has your app been on air? How long, when did you go live with your app?
I've been live for around 1 month, and it has been good. I've been receiving good reception. Like for the Luo community, right now we have over 500 downloads. For other tribes, we have over 100 downloads, like the Luo, Kikuyu, Kalenjin, Luo, Luya, Kalenjin. We also have we have been receiving good reception. People have also been giving us feedback, telling us to add more content, and we are also in the process of adding more content.
So, is the app available for free, or are you supposed to pay any subscription for you to be able to use it?
We really love to. We could have made the app completely free. The challenge was we wanted to make the app very interactive as possible. So for the chat servers are very expensive because of the exchange of information going around. So, and also for the research, we want to do more research. We don't just want the app to remain like that. So that's why we had to pass part of the cost to our users. So for download, you can just download the app for free. It's completely free. You can download the app for free. But we placed a small cost of 50 shillings so that at least we can be able also to constantly maintain and update the app.
So when you say 50 shillings, how often does one person have to pay the 50 shillings? Is it a one-off fee or is it a current fee?
It's a one lifetime fee. Once you pay it, you will be able to use the app. It's not a 1 year or 1 month subscription.
Now again, if you have to do the subscription by way of that one-off charge, and again this being online, and I anticipate that your payment is maybe by M-Pesa or some other kind of a platform like that one. What happens if somebody who is outside that can access your app?
That's one of the challenges that we have been having. Currently, Google doesn't, it's very complicated, that aspect, but right now, our apps just support local people who are around Kenya because of our payment system. But after we update our payment system so that we can be able now to sell to all people around the world, or that is the only way, maybe through PayPal or any other means, it should be now possible for us to allow people from outside the country to also access the app.
We'll take another commercial break, and when we come back, we'll try to look at this area of this aspect of app development and how it can be integrated with the digital literacy project and see if it is likely to enhance learning and availability. Viewer, stay tuned. This is Education Matters, where we watch and learn. Welcome back. This is Education Matters. I'm your host, Kamal Bogwan, with my guest, Tonny Oloo. Tonny Oloo, as I already mentioned, is an app developer, and we are trying to investigate the role of apps in the Kenyan scene, and as far as how one can learn to create apps. We have already done with that. how this app that my friend has developed is able to enhance cultural education of our youth. And now, Mr. Oloo, I want you to connect the app development that you're doing and the learning that is taking place in schools. What's the connection?
I think the connection is very strong. Personally, I was very surprised because I was even a 9-year-old was the person who he was talking about on YouTube on how he's able to sustain himself through app development. And there was a graduate looking for work, and it was very difficult for me without a framework or a groundwork for me to earn income from any other means. So the young people right now who are in high school, who are even in primary, they are very lucky. I can just say they are very lucky because they are very fortunate, as in they have had access to computers at a very young age. So it just depends on them if they are motivated enough to use the computers in the right way.
In your estimation, how exactly do you think these laptops that are being deployed in primary schools, the ICT integration that is being done in secondary schools, how exactly do you think it can be used and deliver this education? Could there be a way that maybe you as an app developer could come up with an app that could enhance learning in the day-to-day setup?
It's very, as an app developer, I make mobile application apps. So what the students can do with their computer, with the computers and the laptops that they have been provided with, they should look for, there are a lot of online tutorials teaching people on how to develop the mobile applications. And they're also, in this space, the young people among themselves can take it to even develop learning programs for themselves. Like they can develop apps on how to study KCSE, apps to study KCPE, because they are the ones who understand their challenges even more than us who are already completed with the system. So it should be among themselves to use the computers and the laptops which they have been provided with to develop mobile applications that them and their students can study with.
But now, based on being an app and largely learning on the platform of smartphones, you're also aware that there is illegal to have smartphones in secondary school. How do you consider that?
The illegal smartphones in secondary school, how I talk about that is the students, just the way they are being supplied by the laptops and also the computers, if there is a way that they can be given, okay, I don't know if it's okay for them to be given. I think they on normal basis they always communicate with their parents with their mobile phones, but they should also be taught how to use the mobile phones in a responsible way or in a way that it could be advantageous to them in the future. So apart from being educated on the computers and the laptops, on how to use the computers, they should also be taught on how to develop apps, mobile phone apps, because they are the young generation and the most users for the mobile applications.
Well, let's focus on the teachers. Have you had the privilege of interacting with teachers, maybe the ones who are handling the digital literacy projects in class 1, maybe the ones handling secondary schools, and trying to engage them and see that if they can appreciate what you have to offer? Because again, when they come to this cultural education I'm talking about, they can fall perfectly within maybe social studies in primary school, maybe history and government in secondary school. Have you had an attempt to engage them?
I've had an attempt to engage some of them, and we are still in the process of discussing on how this could be beneficial to the students, as the curriculum still, most of the teachers, they follow the curriculum. So
they should follow.
Yeah, they should follow the curriculum. So to introduce something new, it's a process, but I've been talking to some of them, and I hope it's time they'll allow us at least to engage the students and to teach them on how they can also use the apps to learn, because there are a lot of educational apps in the Play Store.
What about the parents? The parents have smartphones, they are not in school, they are at home. the smartphones. What approaches do you have? What engagement do you have to try again to win the parents to find value in what you have taught?
It has been very difficult with the parents because the parents they are coming from a different generations. Most people will just use apps, maybe two or three apps are the ones with the youth, so maybe WhatsApp, Facebook. So and those apps are interactive apps. They are not educational apps. So to communicate that information from parents to students that okay, you can allow your students to like use these apps for other purposes. Difficult, but with time I hope they'll understand the benefits.
No, the question is that if we don't break through the parents, then I'm telling because the parents are the same who have smartphones. When these guys, the students go home, because they will suddenly go home, they will later go on holiday, or some of them career school. So when they go home and find the smartphone at home, how don't you think that maybe that will be a platform of engaging even not the parents, their children?
That would be a very good platform, and I will really right now ask the parents to inform their students on how they can at least use mobile apps for educational purposes, for learning purposes. I'll just emphasize again that there are apps out there that are educational. Not all apps are just games for fun or interactive apps. There are very many good apps, like one for learning about nature. We have educational video tutorials. So the parents at least could give more information to the students because they are the ones who are with most of the time the ones with the phones.
I would also want you to comment as well, winding down the element of employability of the youth, especially these guys who are coming from secondary school. Maybe they're transiting to university, the ones who graduated from the university, in as far as employability. How do you think what we are doing in as far as app development could enhance the runners' employability? You mentioned a 9-year-old who is doing something. Yes.
So with app development, it's a very good chance of self-employment, and it's also a good chance you as a youth to employ other people, because on the App Store it gives you, once your app is live on the App Store, that means it's exposed to over 1 billion people. So those are a lot of customers. Different from a brick and mortar business. When you open a shop somewhere, you're only exposed to like 2,000 people or 3,000 people, and you also have to pay a lot of rent, taxes. So this is the space as youths, you should enter this space because you still don't have that much capital to begin a brick and mortar business. And it will be a very good space for you to earn income from it and also give employment to some of your peers.
Viewer, we are coming to the end of my show, and I want to give you this chance, Mr. Oloo, to let the viewer know if he needs to consume your apps, how we can get them, and also do an appeal to our learners and also our parents and our teachers in as far as delivery of curriculum via digital means.
So if you want to get my apps, you just go to right now they are only available for people who own Android phones. You just go to the Android Play Store and search for any cultural apps that you need for your community. If you are Kikuyu, you can do Kikuyu customs and traditions. Just search on it on Play Store, you'll find it. Or if you are from any other tribe, Luo, Luya, Kalenjin, you can just do the search and you'll find my apps. And to the parents, I will really ask you to at least be a source of encourage your children like to engage in this space, because it's a very good space. It's new, it's not flooded yet, and it's a good chance for them to express their innovative ideas, to put their innovations into to express their innovations in a way that other people can also benefit from them.
Thank you very much. There you have it. We are very digital. I think this space is opening up, and therefore, viewer, you are encouraged to take advantage of it. It will make a difference for even another field that we're calling lifelong learning, adult continuing education. Everybody can learn anywhere. You only need to be online, and maybe with the consumption of these cultural apps that we have from our friend Tonny, running will be continuous here and there. With that, we come to the end of the show. Until next time, watch and learn.